Jai Hind and welcome all to my channel is English Alpha to Omega. So today, dear friends, we are going to study the first poem from HSC syllabus of English, and the title of the poem is Song of the Open Road. So let's begin. It happens to be the first poem which is written by Walt Whitman. Walt Whitman, dear friends, as you know, is an American poet. He is known for his collection of poems such as Leaves of Grass, which was published in 1855, and one of the poems is very famous, which was written on the death of Abraham Lincoln, the former president of United States of America, who fought for the equality in United States of America. And perhaps you know that there was a civil war in America for civil rights. So he has written that poem, "O Captain, My Captain." Also he is known for his free verse technique, which is used in his poems, and he is known as father of free verse. Okay, so Song of the Open Road. The section 1 of Song of the Open Road from Leaves of Grass is a beautiful blend of self-awareness, free will, tenderness of heart. It gives us poets realization that along the journey of life one will face a test of wisdom, which is not tested in any school or university. A road is something everyone uses, whether rich or poor, and it forces all levels of people to associate with one another. The road signifies mobility. One can take the road as a point to start over towards something new. Whitman talks about the people and places. He argues against staying in one place for too long, although the hospitality may be true. Okay. So let's start with the icebreaker activity. There are certain questions given over there. First question is, choose the mode of travel that you would like the most for a journey. 4 options are given there: airways, waterways, railways, and roads. You can state certain reasons, which is your reason for choosing that particular mode of travel. Such as roadway, you can choose for as it is easily available, then no particular preparation required when you are traveling by road. Just you have to have your car, or even you can choose public transport. That's all. So if you are choosing railway, in that case you can state the reason, such as easily it is available and you can travel with comfort and also economic. You can save your money if you are traveling by railway to a certain extent. And again, you can choose the next mode is waterways, which is cheaper means of travel at long distances. And finally, you can also state that airways, which is the quickest mode of travel of all, and you can easily get to a place where you wish to go. Second question is, discuss with your partner the precautions you would like to make for the journey chosen. There could be a variety of precautions, such as taking all the belongings, which is the most basic, taking enough money, taking the ticket in case you are traveling by air or by railway, taking your passport or the ID documents, whichever required. If you are traveling abroad, then in that case you might require visa also along with passport. So third question is, discuss the ways in which you would overcome the problems or hindrances, difficulties you face during the journey. Making a proper plan for the journey that you can do. Enlisting essential items for the journey by thinking or developing an attitude that problem is an opportunity to learn, and also you can solve each problem calmly as well as peacefully. That's what is most important. Okay, so final question is, during every journey we have to observe certain rules. Discuss your idea of the journey without any restrictions or rules. You can begin like this, that I would like to go alone, or I would like to go with selected friends, or I would like to go with my family, blah blah blah. I would like to take sufficient stuff with me for the journey. I would take all precautions, documents, passport, ticket, visa, etc. I would take enough care whichever is required for the journey. So that's all with the icebreakers. Again, I have found certain new words. Perhaps you would also encounter when you are reading the poem. Henceforth means from now on. Whimper means make a series of low, weak, sad cries, especially fear and pain. Querulous, complaining, showing that one is irritated. Content means fulfilled or satisfied. Sufficient, that is enough. Constellation means destiny. Suffice, to be enough for somebody or something. Then the next word is delicious, pleasing to taste, or something which is very tasty. The next word is burden, heavy load of something. That's all the words. So here we go to the poem. First of all, I would like to read the poem for you. So let's begin. Song of the Open Road. A foot and light-hearted I take to the open road. Healthy, free, the world before me. The long brown path before me leading wherever I choose. Henceforth, I ask no good fortune. I myself am good fortune. Henceforth, I whimper no more, postpone no more, need nothing. Done with indoor complaints, libraries, querulous criticisms. Strong and content I travel the open road. The earth that is sufficient. I do not want the constellations any nearer. I know they are very well where they are. I know they suffice for those who belong to them. Still here I carry my old delicious burdens. I carry them, men and women, I carry them with me wherever I go. I swear it is impossible for me to get rid of them. I am filled with them and I will feel them in return. So let's turn to the most important part of this poem, that is explanation of the poem. I would go stanza wise. Let's start with the first stanza. So in the first stanza, the reader is able to glean several important points, such as the first one is the speaker is setting out on the open road on foot. Secondly, he is light-hearted and open-minded. He is about to experience whatever and he is ready for every kind of experience that he is going to have when he is walking on that open road. Again, additionally, the speaker also recognizes that he is the one who is in control of his journey. He will choose the path that will take him on his journey. Let's turn to the second stanza. In this stanza, the speaker says that he does not have to pray for good luck because he is the maker of his own luck. So he believes in himself, and he believes the famous saying of Vivekananda that we are the creator of our destiny. That sort of thing he believes in. He is no longer content with being walled out or walled inside. He is strong and happy to be on the open road. Then let's turn to the third stanza. In this stanza, the speaker seems to separate himself from others. So he says that the earth is fine the way it is. He does what he wants to. So he does not desire to be any closer to stars than he already is. He knows they are fine where they are. He knows they are good enough for those who belong to them. This last line is strong contrast to the rest of the poem, where the speaker emphasizes his free will and independence, which means he probably does not include himself in the group of people who belong to the constellations. He does not belong to them because he does not need them at all. Finally, in the stanza 4, which happens to be the last stanza of this poem, he says it is physically separated. Again, it is important to note that this stanza is separated with the use of certain things. Whitman's use of parenthesis. So he has used parenthesis to separate this particular stanza from the rest of the 3 stanzas. Here he wants to say that he is not without his own problems, but instead of fretting, he relishes them. The reader can see this through Whitman's diction. His use of word delicious is not an accident. Through that particular word, Whitman conveys that there is a sense of relish he feels for his burden. The second line of the final stanza, the speaker admits to all that he carries them with him wherever he does. This thought is continued in the final 2 lines of the poem. The speaker declares that he cannot rid himself of them. Instead, he and his burdens share a symbolic relationship of sorts. He is filled with his burdens, and in return, he fills them. The speaker is stating that his burdens do not define him, rather, he accepts them and carries them with him wherever he goes. So that's all with the explanation of those 4 stanzas which are there in the poem. So for more information, you can log on to certain websites. First one is poemanalysis.com. Second one is www.poetryfoundation.org. Then www.poets.org. Then one more is there, www.sparknotes.com, and finally www.britannica.com. So you can log into these websites to get more information about the poet, about this poem. Thank you very much. Finally, I would like to request you to please like, subscribe my channel. Thank you very much. Thank you all.